Welcome back to Big Mouth, and today we're going to talk about Doctor Who. Doctor Who has got one of the most fabulous concepts in fiction, whether you're reading a book, watching a TV show, or watching a movie. This mysterious alien who we don't even know his real name, in this vessel travelling through space and time with a human companion. Or actually, if you look through the history of Doctor Who, it wasn't always a human companion. And actually, I missed the fact that the Doctor doesn't travel with any robots anymore or any aliens. And it's always kind of normally a human female. Now, the new Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, will be travelling with three very different companions. Two men and a woman. I'm excited about it. I never really wanted a female Doctor. I'm happy with Jodie's casting because I know of her work. She's very talented. But there is part of me that is disappointed that it wasn't a more edgier piece of female casting. That would have been even more interesting. But what's happened under Stephen Moffat, we have lost so many people who've walked because the show became diluted, became boring, in fact. Peter Capaldi should have been one of the great Doctors. But because of the way Stephen Moffat did it, he wasn't. His first episode was fantastic. And if we stayed along those lines with that energy and that zest, Peter Capaldi would have been the greatest Doctor. Maybe, and just maybe, Stephen Moffat would still be the showrunner and we wouldn't have a female Doctor. But I do feel that the fact that we got a female Doctor is more of a BBC initiative more than a Chris Chibnall one. He did state it was always going to be a female Doctor. I don't believe he was desperate for a female Doctor. It was something he was told when he came in. That's obvious. I remember first watching Doctor Who when Tom Baker became Peter Davison. I was so excited and obsessed with that Doctor. I used to record them on VHS and watch them again and again and again. He was brilliant. I wasn't interested in Colin Baker or Sylvester McCoy, but my imagination was captured when they gave us Doctor Who the movie. Actually, I know a lot of people don't like that movie, and it was very Americanised, but it showed us the potential of a Doctor Who with all the bells and whistles. Now, we can debate in another video if Doctor Who should have all the bells and whistles. I think it's great. Some people don't agree, but I love having heated debate as long as it doesn't get nasty. And I think some of us in this fandom just way off to the nastiness too much. Not many of us, but there are a few that spoil it for the rest of us. We've heard that people who work on New Who don't particularly like us because they feel we're a bit too nasty. Hey guys, it's not all of us. It's just a select few. Just remember, we support you. So, New Who turns up, and it was a bolt out of the blue. It was a gift from the gods. Russell T Davies petitioning to get the show. And what a job he did. He understood what Doctor Who needed. He didn't mess around too much with the original concept, but he brought it kicking and screaming in the 21st century. It was such a positive piece of work, but it was fun. You wanted to be the Doctor. People always say, oh, I put myself in the head of the companion. I don't. I don't care if there's a companion there or not. The Doctor is my hero. The Doctor is my main man. I know I shouldn't be saying man now as we've got a woman, but you know what I mean. So I was always watching Doctor Who and invested in Doctor Who because guess what? Of the Doctor. So it was, New Who under Russell T Davies was fantastic. Murray Gold, who composed the music from season 1 to the very recent season, who's now been replaced. I can't remember the name of the guy who's replaced him, but it's a sad time for me because for me, he's a modern-day John Williams. The music he gave us for Doctor Who was fantastic. But as Russell T Davies left Doctor Who, Stephen Moffat took over. Now, I was obsessed with Stephen Moffat because of the mini-series Jekyll. I thought Jekyll was a revolutionary piece of work. I really did. And I thought at that time, just before Russell left, I thought, it was a bit too optimistic, bright, colourful. We could do with it darkening up. So I was excited, even though Russell T Davies is one of my favourite, most inspirational creative heads. He's a legend as far as I'm concerned. I even wrote him a letter once. Of course, I didn't get a reply. He's a busy man. So what went wrong with Moffat's Doctor Who? Well, it started really well in the first 1.5 seasons, But I think his ego took over. He was too obsessed with creating his legacy and being remembered. He'll be remembered all right, but not for the right reasons. In the last 2 or 3 seasons, it became boring, diluted, and it was very sad. To see Doctor Who die a death like that was very disappointing to me. Ratings have gone down. People are not very excited about Doctor Who anymore. But I think the BBC are fighting back. I think having Classic Who on Twitch is genius. Having New Who on iPlayer is genius. I think Jodie Whittaker, the new Doctor, will appeal to the mainstream. That's why she was cast. That's why we didn't get an edgier Doctor. It's a brand new time. Even though I didn't want a female Doctor, I love Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. So I am excited about it. I think it's going to be a brilliant piece of work. And I'm hoping that Doctor Who, at least, can be back on top. Because it's a great show. It's a fabulous concept. Now, I know a lot of kind of long-standing fans probably won't come back to watch this show, which I think's a shame. I think the premiere will land big. I think we can be proud of Russell's 4 or 5 years running Doctor Who. He gave us so much. Just look at that Dalek episode, the first one in season 1. You know, we worried, how would the Daleks be relatable in the 21st century? That Dalek episode gave us the answer to that quandary. Russell is and was a genius. He created the first shared universe, if you like, before even Marvel did it, with Captain Jack, Sarah Jane. It was brilliant. It really worked what he did. And unfortunately, Stephen Moffat just didn't work as a whole. Yeah, you can pick out a few episodes, but to run a series, it has to be the whole package. And Stephen Moffat didn't give us that. And he pretty much destroyed the show and the name Doctor Who. He really is comparable to what Rian Johnson has done with The Last Jedi. Very divisive. Simple as that. No one can argue with that. So we're now in a new era. The BBC have gone really aggressively at this. They've put a lot of money into it. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to it because I love Doctor Who. And soon I've got to binge every episode of New Who. Not just New Who, I'm going to watch Doctor Who the movie first. Because I think that's where you start. And I think, I mean, I'd love to watch all the classics as well. But, you know, there's not enough time in the day, is there? So I am excited for the end of August when Doctor Who finally returns. I'm such a passionate Doctor Who fan. I love the character. I love what this character does. He left his own planet because they were just observers. He wanted to get involved. He's fabulous, or she's fabulous. But you know what? It doesn't matter if he's played by a man or a woman. Personally, if I was running the show, I would have just held a casting call for men and women and just picked the best person for the job. At least you don't trigger so many long-standing fans who are kind of saying, I don't want a female as the Doctor. I also don't think it helps when Jodie Whittaker comes out and says, I'm a feminist. You know, that's great that you're a feminist, but you're just going to trigger people. I think Jodie Whittaker's a really nice lady. I love the way she's promoting the show. I'm really behind her. Not like that, you dirty bastards. But literally, this could be something really special. And I want Doctor Who to work. I don't want it to fail. But I want to be clear. I want to be really clear here. If it does fail, it's not because they cast a female. It's because Chris Chibnall hasn't done the right things within the characters and within the storytelling. You can't blame the gender of a character. Yes, some people won't come back, but many people will. I believe most people are not small-minded enough not to come back because it's a woman. Judge it on the work, on the creative element. Diversity should be something we get automatically without shouting it through the rooftops. But Doctor Who is something special. And if you really claim to be a Doctor Who fan, give it a chance, please. If you don't like what they do, judge it on its merits. We're here in exciting times. We could get Captain Jack back. We could get a live action Torchwood back again. So back them. Back them. Give them the numbers so we can put Doctor Who back on top for the right reasons. Thank you, Whovans. I'll be back soon.